Does anyone on the panel, and I'll come to LB as well on this, does anyone on the panel think Manchester City are going to be back winning at the top level next season, or is it going to take another couple of seasons?
I don't see why people would say no. If you look at since January, we've been the second best team in the league. Yeah,
after who?
Liverpool.
I thought Newcastle was the second best on form after this.
I seen a league table City was second.
Oh, was it going?
Yeah. Rodri still to come back. Yeah, we've had basically no creative midfielder in our team throughout the whole entire season because Foden's just not been here this year and KDB has just been mad inconsistent. We should be buying someone. I reckon we're going to get Wirtz. We're going to get some new fullbacks. We've had basically one fullback for the whole year. We've had a goalkeeper whose head's not in the game. I think when we make these signings in the summer, I don't understand why people would not have us a serious contender.
Give me the 5 players you're going to get. Give me the positions you're going to sign. You think in the summer?
Goalkeeper, left back, right back, 8, 10.
Okay, so what happened? So what happened when you got Claudio Bravo?
I just want to bought Edison.
Exactly. Yeah, they fucked it though with him and had to wait it out to go get a next keeper. I personally think that City will always be competitive and City will be one of the teams to watch next season. I'm not disregarding that. I don't think you go straight back to the top of the pile automatically or overnight because the chances of you rebuilding to the level of perfection that you previously had is very, very slim. It's like trying to get lightning to strike twice. I'm not saying that.
But do you not think if we had Rodri, Wirtz, Haaland, that is a serious fucking spine?
Oh yeah, you say I've just said that you will be competitive and you will be there or thereabouts. But say go straight back to the top after having such a year where the drop has been so significant. I just don't think it will naturally happen that way. I don't know whether, again, there are players in that bunch that have the hunger to prove that they will go back to being there, or it is just about, all right, we've had our biggest and best, brightest moments at City now. How can we just manage the seasons and like start to actually pigeonhole competitions you want to go for, whether that's the Champions League, whether that's the Prem. I don't see them doing the doubles and the trebles and being as good as you've been. And again, that's by your standards. So I'm not saying that you go back to fighting on all fronts. You might be competitive again, going deep into 2 competitions next year with a push. But I'm just saying that from my perspective.
Errol. Oh, sorry. I don't know what that was.
Go on mute, Errol. I'll mute you on.
We're not talking about Ten Hag being in charge or Big Ange being in charge or, no disrespect, Arteta. We're talking about Pep Guardiola. He's never gone. He's okay. I mean, he's lost. You know, he's not won a title. Then what's he done? He's come back the next season and spanked it. You made the comment about Bravo when he brought Bravo in. Well, that was his first season. That wasn't his squad. If there's anybody that knows what it takes to win a Premier League, I hate saying it. I'm United. It's this guy. Sir Alex Ferguson did it time after time after time. You know, you're talking about a manager who never finished below 3rd in his entire in the Premier League. So I kind of feel like it's a bit silly for us to say, well, nah, they're not going to. Of course, they're going to be there. They're going to be there or thereabouts. This Premier
I've just
League,
said they'll be in the mix. I've just said they're not going back to the top straight away like that, though. Go on, lad. Sorry.
It's hard to say that when, you know, we had the same conversation about Liverpool. We didn't think that Liverpool would be in a position to go and win the league, or a lot of people didn't, apart from Wolfie, obviously. But Liverpool went on to go and win it. I think if we were at this point last season, looking at Liverpool, I don't think anybody would have said they'd have gone on to win the league, and they did it. But I do agree with Dan. That spine that LB's talked about, and you had a Diego Costa, for example, in goal, who's been linked with them as well. Like you're in a position there where you're fighting at the top table again, and I don't think that you're already seeing improvements from Man City since January with the players that they've signed. Mamouche is starting to kick into his own now. You know, they're starting to kind of settle in. Kushnov will take time, but he's only 20, 21. He's young. He'll get better. There's no doubt about it. His quality. And you know, pre-season under their belt together again with a few signings. it's hard to rule out Man City being outside of that top 2 again. I don't think, you know, Pep. I remember when I think Pep finished 3rd in his first season, 3rd or 4th, one of them, and you could tell that determination on his face to ensure that never happens again. I kind of get that feeling, and from what I hear from him in the ways he's acting, I kind of get that feeling that he's not going to want to be in that position again, and he's going to build a team that's going to be right at that top table.
And just to add,
I think your point there, though. I think your point there, Pete, was you were saying about Liverpool. We didn't predict it, or none of us were on it. But by and large, not out part of Klopp going, the majority of the playing staff remain. I think with the City situation, Pep still stays, but he's going to have to work with a whole new batch of ingredients. And what I'm saying is to bottle those ingredients and get them to strike in that lightning in the same way that the cities that we've come to know in the last couple of years have hit ridiculous heights. I don't know if that happens in a 12-month transition. That's all I'm saying. I am not saying that they will not be back in and amongst the cat amongst the pigeons with Arsenal, Liverpool, whoever else is going to be in and around the top 4 next year. But I think that would be much more of I'd place me bet on. They finish with one of the big trophies, but they don't go on multiple fronts in the way that no one expects.
So you're telling me I'm going to win the Premier League or Champions League this year?
I think you probably your best shout is one of those 2. Yeah,
I don't think so.
I mean, I'd take that. Go on, Deji.
I know you would, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I know you would, but like the way that I thought the question was being spilled was like, all right, are City going to go back and go and do a treble, or want to do go back to back to back? Or
no, but you can't. All right, yeah. No one's saying that we're going to go win the treble.
Let Dan and Deji come in. Dan, you were halfway through. Go on, Dan. What was you saying?
I sneezed. Carry on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go on, Dej.
Yeah, I felt like sneezing when Errol was saying that City might be back, to be honest. The truth of the matter is we need to stop giving City this space like it's guaranteed. They were guaranteed to win the league this season and they lost 9 times. Yeah, I can see, yes, I agree, there's been an improvement, but there's nothing to suggest that Man City is so dominant. There's nothing to suggest that Man City beats Crystal Palace in the bloody FA Cup, mate. Let's not be giving them pedestals that they haven't earned. I think Man City will be much more improved and they will lose less than 9 games next season. But I'm not giving them the Prem and I don't think they're winning the champs.
Okay.
But do you think they're in and around the Prem conversation, Deji?
I think City are going to be top 4.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen enough. The over reliance on Rodri is a factor. How are they going to replace that over the summer? Let's see. You know what I mean?
Rodri's back from injury.
Yeah, well, like I said, let's see how you guys get on. Do you know what I mean? He could also, I'm not wishing it on him, also get injured again, mate, and then what? So, look, let's not just give it to them. I think we need to see a lot more. We need to see who are the replacements, who are the cover, if these things happen, and then we will know. I said to you, and I sang it to you, LB, it was the end of the road, and I genuinely believe it. I don't see City winning the Prem anytime soon, personally. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Okay, then, bearing in mind out of the 3 of us here, we're saying City have had a terrible season. They're about to probably win the FA Cup, Champions League. Out of the 3 of our managers, who's the manager that is the most equipped to go out there and get the players and get them the way that he wants them playing for a season? Because I can tell you now, my manager's not there yet because we've still got loads of problems there. Your manager you want out the door, it's LB's man. I can't believe we're having, and I can't believe that I can't believe I'm fighting for fucking Man City here. I can't believe what the fuck.
I can't believe it.
I genuinely can't. I can't understand. I can't fathom how we're sat here.
Can I also say something genuine? And I'm surprised no one's brought this up. And Dan, I hear you. And look, I think the issue with Klopp, first and foremost, was that he came to an end of a cycle. Like, sometimes you can be at a club too long. And I think some of the issues we've seen with City is that I think Pep's done his time at City. I think they need someone else at the helm, fresh blood, new tactics, new way of thinking to push them forward. That's why I'm saying to you, I'm not sure. Yes, Pep is equipped to do it. Yes, he's a legend. But is he going to be able to bring these back to the top of the game? I'm not sure. I think
based off of what? So what are you not sure? Based off of what?
Bro, based on how pony, this is the worst City season under Pep.
In how many
I
years?
agree. But we still might win a trophy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but this is the what, bro. Look, this is why I argued with you earlier about this trophy thing. I put more weight on how you performed in the Prem, and by your standards, you've been pony this season. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, we have been pony, but we're still going to win a trophy.
So I'm saying to you, I'm not sure that Pep is going to somehow get you to lose in 2 or 3 games next season in order for you to win the league. That's all I'm saying, bruv.
The summer's going to be massive, though, because right now, as things stand, Liverpool are favourites to win it again, right? Stupid thing to say, but they just won it, right, yesterday. So they're favourites right now. When that summer shuts, I don't know what this Newcastle side's looking like. I don't know what Arsenal side's looking like. I don't know what City are doing. I don't know what Liverpool are doing. I don't know, and people might laugh, but I don't know what everyone else around that are doing. People might laugh at United and Spurs and other teams like that, but you don't have a clue what they're doing in the summer. And all of a sudden, kaboom, like Chelsea, for example, could go and get a world-class striker, a world-class centre-half, a brilliant creative midfielder, and a top-class goalkeeper. And all of a sudden, we're looking at Chelsea thinking, crikey, I didn't see them coming up from that. But they're doing it. You just don't know what's going to be happening. I will say this. I think that Manchester City could be back next season. Now, I don't mean back in doing 4-peats and trebles again, but it would not surprise me if this next season it ends and Manchester City have won the Premier League. I wouldn't be like stunned. Like, what? How? How have they done that? How? Because they've got an unbelievable manager. Rodri makes them tick, mate. We saw straight away what they were.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, Dan. Can you put up the predictions before the season again? Put it on the screen.
Yeah, sure. Let me take a look at it. I liked your prediction, by the way.
So Dan, so Dan Potts, you had City, LB had City, Don had City, Billy had City, Errol had City. Yeah, even me, I had bloody City. Nowhere near it, though. Nowhere near it. Point being is we do this thing about City, we give it over to him based on what?
Based on the fact that we just won 4 in a row.
Bruv, but you fell off a cliff, mate.
Look how they've responded. They've done 175 in January. They'll spend another 200, 300 million. They're going to buy Verts. Rodri's back. Foden's dropped off. He'll hopefully be back next year.
Hopefully.
There's been so much stuff this year that has been poor from us that, like, next year should be massively, massively improved.
We
will see.
Those signings in January as well. I know what you were saying, Potts, earlier about, can sort of City's team gel and all the rest of it. But this is why they went and invested so heavily in January. It almost gives them 6 months to bed in. So by the time pre-season comes in, they're already set. They're already set players in the squad. They know their roles. They know what Pep expects from them. So all it is the additions in the summer, whoever it is.
Yeah, and we know what they'll do, Pete. We know that they'll add because their board are serious. Their owners are serious, man.
But this is what I mean. So it's not. We're still, I think, looking at January signings as new signings that need to bed in. They'd have had 6 months at the club. They were already set in by now. At that point, the players that they add in in the summer, they'll be the new ones that will be ready to go. Which is why I say you can't necessarily. No one can really sleep on Man City because they can go and hit back. And quite easily go and win that league at Cantor next year if it all comes together, and there's a high chance it could.
Last point on this, Deji, and we got to wrap up. Go on, Deji.
I know we got to wrap up. Special request: can we archive this show, please? Yeah, I don't want this show to go missing. We need to replay the last 20 minutes of this show this time next season. That's all I'm saying.
All right, we will. We'll see where we're all at.
I can't understand this, Deji. I'm sorry, Boss. I know you want to wrap up, but I just can't understand how we're talking about Pep fucking Guardiola like he's a fucking tin pot fucking.
No, I'm not suggesting that at all.
The way you're talking about him,
the way you're talking, certainly suggests that. All I'm
suggesting is, could he have run his time? Could his time at City?
I'm pretty sure you said we should get rid of him or get a new manager. That's what you said before.
No, but bro, like I'm saying to you, there's no guarantee you're going to be back next season. That's what I'm saying, bro.
But you also said we should get rid of Pep Guardiola and get a new manager.
I said if he's come to the end of his cycle, then you're better off bringing someone new, i.e., Liverpool.
Do you think he's come to the end of his cycle?
What's
do you
that?
think he's come? Do you think he's come to the end of his cycle? Do you think he should leave?
I think the fall off is signs of cracks.
So if you was Manchester City football,
you don't think this is a fact? You just think this is some I don't know. I can't even think it. I think there's cracks in the system.
So you're Carl Dunham Barrett. Would you sack Pep Guardiola in the summer?
Bro, I'm just saying there's cracks. That's all I'm saying.